Welcome. My name is Cindi Berry. I'm the president of Northwest Gender Alliance, and I'm pleased to see all of you here. And I'm pleased to be working with Rose City Park United Methodist. Today is Transgender Day of Remembrance, honoring those we've lost out of the transgender community. Every human life lost inappropriately is a tragedy. We're also going to hear some words about resilience. All of us in the community have expressed various fears, and what I hope in all my heart is that next year at this event, we won't have more names, but people are scared, and I simply request, please love thy neighbor. Please respect them. Please let them know that they're safe with you, because fear is not a fun place to be. And so I am going now to introduce Reverend David Weekley, who will be doing words of reflection, followed by reading of the names and a moment of silence. And when we get ready to read the names, we'll talk about the procedure for those who want to come up. Thank you.
We do this a lot, Cindi and I, with the microphone. Yes, as is yours. So welcome truly to this service tonight. As Cindi said, there are a lot of scared and anxious people. I've had 4 people tell me today they just do not have the fortitude to be here tonight. They had every intention of being here. They just don't have the emotional strength, and I completely understand. So just a couple of logistical things, first of all, and that is to just let you know, bathrooms are just back out through the sanctuary doors and right down the main hall. You can't miss them, and there's drinking fountains there too. If you want privacy and would like a gender-neutral bathroom, there is one located on the 2nd floor. You just take the elevator. But we just want you to use the bathroom that's appropriate for your gender. And so however that works for you, whether it's on the 1st floor or 2nd, just go. Well, no pun intended. But we're glad you're here, especially tonight, as our nation and many faith communities enter another kind of holiday season. Here we are in a time of political changes yet unknown. And that's been a lot of the conversations I've been having with people who don't feel they can come out right now. And so in the midst of all this tonight, it's especially important, I think, that we pause to gather, to support each other, to remember our ancestors. There have been many, many. To remember our heroes and heroines and in between. To remember our partners, our dear friends, our mentors, our family members, the people we've loved and loved for years. And so we remember on this Transgender Day of Remembrance. And we also remember and add our intentional prayers and hopes for all of the other communities that are gathering tonight with us on this Transgender Day of Remembrance. A brief history that's good to be reminded of. November 20th is Transgender Day of Remembrance because it was started on that day in 1999 by transgender advocate Gwendolyn Ann Smith. And that was as a vigil to honor the memory of Rita Hester, a transgender woman who was killed in 1998. That vigil commemorated all the transgender folks lost to violence since Rita Hester's death and began this sacred tradition that has become our Transgender Day of Remembrance. This is our 25th year, that means. And we will be doing this as we move from mourning to joy together. It's my hope. 25 years. Gwendolyn Ann Smith said this: Transgender Day of Remembrance highlights the losses we face due to anti-transgender bigotry and violence. It provides dignity to members of our community who have died to live authentically. I am no stranger to the need to fight for our rights, and the right to simply exist is first and foremost. With so many seeking, especially now, to erase transgender people, sometimes in the most brutal ways possible, it is vitally important that those we lose are remembered and lifted up, and that we continue to live and fight for justice. And those words from Gwendolyn Ann Smith are truer today than ever. And so I'm just going to close with, this is a community prayer of thanks written by, I'm not sure what group, and it's a generic, it's not for any faith tradition, but it's for our community. We, the people of faith within the LGBTQIA+ community and their friends and families, give thanks tonight to the many saints, martyrs, and those institutions that have brought Christ's message of love and Christ's teaching throughout the centuries to this very day for the full inclusion of all people within the circle of God's love and human love. We are grateful tonight for all who teach us love, respect, justice, and inclusivity for all humanity, that there be no marginalized, disenfranchised, harmed, or abused persons ever left behind, and that we ensure, too, that all persons are to be loved and nurtured. May we and others reflect upon our past and current strife and celebrate and protect solid advancements within institutions that can provide us the needed springboard to overcoming these new attempts to vilify our community. We will work for this and remove remaining discriminations once and for all. We will. Amen. At this time, we're going to do the reading of names, and are you going to explain that?
Hand me the top one. For those that would like to read a name and light a candle, Deborah will have a person, and on the back will be their name, and there'll be sticky dots, and when you're done reading the name, just place them on the board wherever you'd like and light a candle for them. Deborah will be up here. I'll be down by the candles in case the lighter decides to not have any fun. And I'll start this out with San Coma, age 48, passed away on October 19th, 2024. And you can walk in front of the mic.
I just got 20/20 vision in my right eye, and now I can't read.
Oh, me too.
Honey Daniels, October 3rd, 2024, age 37.
Kasim Omar, September 26th, 2024, age 29.
Ty Latham, age 24, died or killed August 4th, 2024.
Vanity Williams, August 3rd, 2024, age 34.
Dylan Gurley, July 24th, 2024, age 20.
Monique Brooks was killed July 19th, 2024, at the age of 49.
Shannon Boswell, killed on July 5th, 2024 at age 30.
Kenji Sergion, July 1st, 2024, age 23.
Polly Likens was killed June 23rd, 2024, age 14.
Liera Kaylee Sai, killed on June 22nd, 24, at age 35.
Tay Dior Thomas, killed May 7th, 2024, age 17.
Jaslyn Johnson, killed May 6th, 2024, age 18.
Keita B., age 46, killed May 3rd, 2024.
Andrea Doria dos Passos, April 22nd, 2024, age 34.
Star Brown, April 19th, 2024, age 28.
Nevaeh River Godard, April 10th, 2024, age 17.
T. Arnold, killed on April 7th, 2024, age 36.
Meraxes Medina, killed March 20th, 2024, age 24.
Alex Franco, March 18th, 2024, age 21.
Diamond Cherish Brigman, March 16th, 2024, age 26.
Reina Hernandez, March 8th, 2024, age 54.
Africa Paria Garcia, killed February 2nd, 2024, age 25.
Sasha Williams, killed January 26th, 2024, at the age of 25.
Kitty Monroe, killed January 1st, 2024, at the age of 43.
Lexus Walker, killed December 30th, 2023, age 43.
Megan Riley Lewis, killed December 27th, 2023, age 53.
Aber Minor was killed December 24th, 2023, at the age of 40.
Shandon Floyd, November 8th, 2023, age 20.
London Price, killed on October 23rd, 2023, age 26.
Lisa Love, killed October 17th, 2023, age 35.
China Long, killed October 8th, 2023, age 30.
Savannah Williams, November 29th, 2023, age 39.
Dominique Dupree, killed October 13th, 2023, age 25.
Annie Johnson, October 14th, 2023, age 30. No, that's all.
One additional Serenity Bird song. A transgender activist committed suicide Monday, October 29th, 2024.
I just want to remember my friend Alicia Rossellini. She died in Portland here in September 2022, and I always remember her today. Thank you.
We'll just have a few minutes for a moment of silence. As we've said, it's a difficult year. It's a good year to have a few words about resiliency. And so I'm happy to introduce my friend, Reid Vanderburgh, who's going to speak to us a little bit about that. Thank you, Reid. Wherever you want to be.
Well, I wish I could say I was happy to be here. But I am happy to be here in the presence of all of you. And I wish there were more of us here. I understand why people felt they couldn't come today. But if you know anyone who was planning to be here, who isn't here, get a hold of them. Go hold their hand, go give them a big hug. I sing in the Portland Gay Men's Chorus. We rehearse on Monday nights. When the election was held on Tuesday, I was counting the minutes until I could be in the room with all those people holding hands, singing "We Shall Overcome." It was hugely powerful because part of our resilience comes from our connection with each other. And that's a big part of it. And I'm trans myself, so I know that feeling of having to keep yourself inside yourself for so long. And it's really hard to break out of that and reach out to other people. But the more you can, reach out to each other, other trans people, but also to our allies. We have many. The whole of the Portland Gay Men's Chorus is my ally. That's 175 people right there in one room. It's lovely. I feel blessed to have that. And I know not many people do have 175 built-in allies, but you do have some. We have each other, everybody in this room. So I encourage you, reach out to someone in this room that you don't know. Give them a smile and give them a hug. Give each other hugs. That's what's really going to get us through this. I'm reminded of it's a quote that's attributed to Gandhi, many times, but he actually paraphrased something that was said by a union organizer over 100 years ago, forming unions in this country before such a thing existed. Talk about being fought back against. Well, this union organizer made a speech. I don't remember his name or exactly what he said, but I remember what Gandhi said when the Indian country was uprising against the British. He said, first they ignore you, then they ridicule you, then they fight you, then you win. And I have to hold on to that eventually we will win, because we are on the right side of history here. And I just have to believe that the right side always comes out on top. Otherwise, how do we retain our resilience? Just hold on to that thought, because we have made great strides in the decades since I came out as trans. Decades before that, David Weekley, not coming out as trans, because how could you? But now he is. So our resilience partly comes from living our truth, living our identity, supporting each other. Whether you're cisgender, transgender, non-binary, whatever you are, be who you are and support each other being who we are. And that's our resilience, and that's our power. And that's what will sustain us through all of this. So, hug each other.
Thank you, Reid. We're going to have a time of open sharing. If anyone would like to come up to the mic and speak, you're welcome to do so at this time. We had some where others, folks were bringing up other people they've known who've left us. So if there's anybody who wants to come up and speak, you're welcome to come up now.
Sure. I hadn't planned on this at all, but I did a little piece for the newsletter, and where shall I stand so it doesn't squeak?
Yeah.
How's that? Anyway, and it was about accepting one another, no matter how divided we are politically. And I remember in college finding out that gay people were just people, because I'd been raised in the Midwest in a very sort of, I guess, insular way, in the suburbs, and everything was just like Pleasantville, if you know the movie. Everybody looked nice and everybody spoke nicely, and there was never any problem, but everybody looked the same and they were very boring. And when I was introduced to the personal experience with transgender people, I don't know why, but that was more difficult for me, I think because I couldn't imagine. It was one thing to come out as gay back in the 70s and the 80s, but to have a life where you really felt like a fish out of water your whole life and never feel comfortable expressing that. And now, today especially, in the times that we're living in, to be so afraid that you want to really hide, you really want to disappear. I can't imagine that, can't imagine that. And as much as I feel like I empathize with the communities that feel so frightened, really, truly frightened, I can never know what it's like. I've never had that problem. I've never felt like I didn't fit in. I felt different. Everybody feels different. But my heart goes out to the community, the transgender community, especially seeing all these names of just very young kids not being able to live their lives because of the fear of a stigma, of a taboo that's been so ongoing for so long. I happen to have a short history in a museum, as a museum educator, and to find out that Native Americans embraced transgender people, and they were very important in that society. And that thought just came to me tonight, and I think, once again, so much to be learned from the people who lived here before us. At any rate, I want to thank you and appreciate you and say how proud I am of this church and this community that is willing to be supportive and get their hands dirty and be the people who want to be the change that they want to see. Thanks.
Anyone else would like to speak?
Hey, I am weepy, so sorry. My name is Reverend Lazarus Jameson. I'm fairly new to Portland. I'm one of the refugees running from, trans refugees running out of the Midwest. I'm out of St. Louis, Missouri, and recently. And the name that I remember on Tidor every year is Kiwi Herring. From a few years ago, before COVID, St. Louisan, she's a black trans woman married to a black trans man, and she had a difficult life, very poor, was making it, was doing what she could do to pay her rent, had a transphobic neighbor who called the police over her existing. And the police came, made all kinds of threats. She was escalated, and they killed her. They shot her in front of her husband, who was subsequently arrested for attacking the police when I would lurch too, if my beloved is dying in front of me, and their children. Her children have been in long-term foster care. I worked for Missouri's DHS, and I coincidentally landed licensing the home that they were living at. And so I spoke to their foster mother today to talk about Tidor and Kiwi. The day that I helped with the funeral, and it was awful. But the day that the week that she died, I and another clergy person carried the children, we marched from the Transgender Memorial Garden, or from the gathering place to the Transgender Memorial Garden, mile and a half. The kids were little, so we had to carry them. So they could say goodbye to their mom and put up her memorial in the goat trees. And I think this year feels so different for me as a trans person. It was supposed to be safer here. That's been hit and miss, but I'm scared. I know a lot of us are scared, right? Portland is supposed to be safe for longer, and that's probably true. But I don't know what's going to happen. Tidor is hard because the commitment, right, is that we gather until there are no more names to read. And I just worry next year's list is going to be really long, and it's names we know. I know. I don't know. I don't really have anything cogent to say other than to share. And, those of you who are not trans, we need you to fight with us. And I also am so thankful, like, I know people are scared, like, everybody has a right to be, and making their own decisions. I fight, I'll go down swinging, I guess, but I am also thankful, like, one of the beautiful things about gathering in community is that we have trans elders in this room, right? So some of you came out late, some of you have been out for forever, but like, it's so rare to see people. I'm 39, like, I'm an elder, but I'm not really, right? Like, so it's beautiful. Thank you for modeling and being present. You all who have survived so much else before will continue to fight and model for us what resiliency looks like.
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name is Kate Pettygrove. I'm the lay leader here at this church, and I work alongside David Weekley. To be really honest, we didn't know anything, I don't think, about transgender till we learned David was going to be our pastor. It's been eye-opening. It's been heartbreaking. I don't live my life every day in fear, so I'm not going to stand up here and pretend like I know what you're all going through, because I don't. But I do know this, that this church is a very safe place. If you ever are in a situation where you physically don't feel safe, you will be safe here. This is a lockdown building, and it's terrifying that we even have to talk about this. But it's a lockdown building all the time. I will make sure that you have access to David, and we will figure out a way to make sure you have access to get into the building. There's codes on a few doors that we can give you to make sure you can get in the building, shut the door, and be safe. I think that's really important, that you know that you do have a safe place to come, heaven forbid if it comes to that. I know church can be a really nasty word for those in the transgender community, and I know that the church has failed all of you probably, if not just many of you. For that, I am very sorry. We as a church, we as this church, are very sorry. But you are always welcome here, always. So know that you have a place to come. You don't have to follow our religion. You're welcome here regardless. We have all sorts of people that bless us with their presence in this space. And we grow and we learn and we are better for it. And we include all of you in that community. So if you are new to Portland and need community, we're here for you. If you know of people that are looking for community, that will not judge, that will just be here for you. In every way that you tell us you need us, we will be here for you. Let us know. I think that's all I've got.
Thank you.
My name's David DeMarkey, and I just want you to let you all know that Kay was selling herself and this congregation a little short with her remarks. Long before Reverend David joined us, this congregation changed my life. I identify as a gender fluid heterosexual male, and just like everybody else, I struggled with that most of my life. Went through decades of denial. When I went through a period, about 20-year period of sort of accepting myself as a cross-dresser, But nonetheless, it was something I kept very much in the shadows and in safe environments. And then, oh my God, let's think. 9 years ago, after I'd gotten divorced for the third time, I realized that what I am, or what I thought I was a gender nonconforming male, and that I just really wanted to change out my wardrobe. And that one thing I learned from my cross-dressing experience was I needed a safe place, a support community, which the Northwest Gender Alliance had been for me. And at that point, at that moment in time, the closest thing I had to a support group that I thought was this congregation. And we'd had a member of the congregation for a number of years who was a trans woman and was accepted as, what was her name? Paula. Nobody thought of her as anything else. But I was still scared to death to come to service in a dress, but I did it anyway. I literally took 2.5 breaths, deep breaths, in my car before I thought, taking another breath isn't going to change a damn thing. Get out of the car, get up those steps, and what happens, happens. Well, what happened was I was not only figuratively embraced by everybody in the congregation, which, by the way, was several times larger than it is now. I was physically embraced by many of them that very Sunday. And the funniest part was I had a number of people say, well, no, please do come back. I said, well, of course I will. I've been coming here for 10 years. Well, why haven't we seen you? Well, I wasn't able to collect my thoughts at the moment, but it was because, well, I was just another balding, paunchy guy in khakis and a polo sitting in the pews. But a balding, paunchy guy in a dress, well, no, that's something people might notice. So, yeah, that, it goes beyond acceptance. That embrace by this whole congregation gave me the confidence that I've been out in the world dressing like this ever since. And, you know, we all know that, yeah, it's sort of a progressive thing. It took a few years before I'd go to work in a dress or skirt or whatever, but I do. And I've had any number of people say, well, it's easy enough for you to go out in the world like that with all that self-confidence. Well, let me tell you where that self-confidence came, right here. This is where I got it. So, if you're at all concerned that, gee, I need some place to get that uplift, it's right here, every single Sunday. And I was raised Roman Catholic, which, as any of you who were raised in that tradition, faith tradition, knows, way back then, it was very doctrinaire, lots of ritual, et cetera, probably still is. And when I told my brother that I was searching around for another faith to practice, and he said, well, you know, you really ought to look at the Methodists. He says, not just because it was Mom's faith, but, you know, there really isn't much doctrine to it. You know, there isn't. There's core beliefs, and it finally taught me what Mom had said all along, that Methodism, as opposed to what Roman Catholicism was, teaches you how to live in a Christian way. That they is non-negotiable. But it's not like, okay, there's 17 trillion rules we inherited from the Old Testament. No, not at all. It's the basics, like love thy neighbor. And these folks practice it. So, thank you.
Thank you.
I think most everybody here knows who Mr. Rogers is. And I would encourage you to find resilience in one of his favorite things. When he was scared and young, his mother told him, look for the helpers. When things are dark, look for the helpers. I encourage you to really look around and find the helpers. There are a lot of trans underground organizations that are banding together to give support to one another. I know a lot of people don't do Facebook these days, but Northwest Gender Alliance is on Facebook. If you would like to join us, I will be posting information for support groups that are having different support nights. People are banding together just to give each other support because everybody's scared. We've attended a couple of those now, and there's a couple more of these over the next week or so. And they are promising that they're probably going to be having them once a month at least, if not more. So you might be fine on one day and another day you're not. You can get a hold of either Cindi or myself through Northwest Gender Alliance at our website. Our web address is at the bottom of the brochure that you have there. Reach out to us. We can put you in contact with other people who are closer to you if we're not close or available at that time. There's a lot of different things that are happening around, a lot of good things. It's hard to see that right now, but because everybody is scared, the people who have pulled together different parts of organizations, Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, Northwest Gender Alliance, there's groups up in Vancouver. There are people who were there who can help you while you were afraid. And as you get stronger, then I encourage you to become one of the helpers. We need more helpers, and that's where you can find your base, your foundation. Getting out of yourself and getting into helping other people is really where our strength lies. So I encourage you to look around. If you can't find something, contact us. You're welcome to contact us anyway, but we can help you find places that you can feel a part of and feel sheltered by. Thank you.
Anyone else? I'll welcome Jeannie, my vice president.
Evening, folks. We live in tumultuous times right now, as I think all of us can agree. Some of us want to run and flee, others want to hide, some of us want to fight back. And as we read the names tonight, and as I look at the board here, anytime I see more than a single name up there, it's too many names. However, even in the darkness, there's always some shred of light that we can grasp hold of. And so in the darkness tonight, as we mourn the names that we read, something to think about. Even in these tumultuous times, this year, the number of people who were killed went down. I've helped run Trans Day of Remembrance ceremonies now for quite a few years. And this is the first time I've seen the numbers go down. So as we're hugging each other, as we're sharing with each other, as we're reaching out to each other, there is a light.
Thank you, Jeannie. Anyone else? Then I'll give my closing remarks. Fear is the most dangerous thing, fear of the unknown, fear of what might come, and that's part of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Fear is a feeling. Uncertainty is simply we don't know. But doubt can be removed if we help each other. I'm very afraid for younger people. I, at one point, thought it wasn't possible for me to come out, and there wasn't a reason for me to exist. And I'm thankful that I moved past that. And I'm still, even though there's fear, uncertainty, and doubt, I am still happier in my life than since I was 10 years old. I still have joy in my life I would not have. And I find it difficult to accept the vitriol of some. I find it sad that in America I have to fight for my own rights. I never imagined that when I was younger. I thought this was the land of freedom and the land of pursuit of happiness. I don't know how hard I can fight, but I'm going to fight. I'm not going to go away. I'm going to inspire where I can. Many of us who've passed the half a century mark know war, even if we've not been in it. We know of it. We know how devastating it is. The young people have not really known conflict like that, and things like equal rights and black rights and the right for women to vote were all things that are ancient history to those young people. I mean, I have clothes older than some of the kids I work with, and those kids are just barely pre-adult. So we have a certain wisdom of knowing we can survive, but we have to work at it, and they don't. And so that reaching that out, giving them helping demonstrate through your actions and words confidence to enable the younger people to sustain. Alice and I have personally helped someone get a passport. They were feeling desperate that they had no passport and they couldn't afford it. And a few of us got together and made that happen. I don't encourage people to leave, but if that's what gives you the confidence to stand up now, knowing that if you couldn't handle it, you could go, that's okay. If you need your documentation changed, we'll help. We'll find a way to help, because whatever you need to feel resilient will help. And each of us can choose that kindness, and I appreciate all of you being here. And please, any questions you have, anything you want to talk about, any hugs you want, please join me at back with the refreshments. Thank you all for attending.